Hi, I'm Richard Brownlow from Bairnsdale Quarries. Started this site about 14 years ago as a greenfield project. We produce a range of road-based gravel products for the local market and also decorative landscaping pebble that travels near and far to metropolitan Melbourne and further away, and coloured concrete aggregate we call Golden Beach for exposed ag concrete. So the quarry's located here on our family farm. Been here for 152 years, which is quite a long-dated family business, and I started the quarry from scratch about 14 years ago after effectively identifying the resource and the market, set about monetising the resource. We've got customers scattered near and far, which is quite unusual for a quarry. We do a lot of local civil construction style work with various levels of local and state government, then garden supplies and concrete plants right throughout sort of southern New South Wales, central coast, all four corners of Melbourne and further afield into Victoria. Funnily enough, when I was in the planning stages of getting the Quarry Work Authority off the ground, I actually met a Volvo salesperson for the southeast region who was living around the corner from me in Melbourne at the time. That's effectively how we were first introduced to Volvo, and I met this guy and said, we're getting a quarry off the ground, and he said, well, I'm actually a Volvo construction equipment sales guy. So that's how we started the relationship, and we bought a wheel loader, a very, very second-hand wheel loader, and had that for quite a period of time and put a lot of hours on it. And it single-handedly ran the business for quite a period of time. And as the business progressed, we worked our way into a bit of new equipment. We bought a new excavator, which was the first new piece of equipment we'd bought. And since then, we certainly looked at other brands, but we seem to continually keep coming back to Volvo. So I guess the primary sales and production loader we've got is an L220H that we bought new a number of years ago. We've also got an L250G. One thing that I've always sort of tried to do in this business was chase efficiencies wherever we can. So we probably arguably run slightly bigger equipment than most businesses of our scale would, where I like the loaders to be able to do 2 or 3 tasks at the same time. I think that's where we get some economies of scale in the equipment. The excavator we've got behind us here, we've had for probably 10 or 11 years, and it's been a wonderfully reliable piece of kit. And today we're excited to take delivery of a brand new 36-tonne F-Series.
Here today delivering this new EC360 to Bairnsdale Quarries, new D8 engine, looking at improvements on fuel efficiency, bigger hydraulic pumps, so hopefully for Richard and the team here at Bairnsdale Quarries will increase efficiency across the board for their operations. We've got a redesigned cabs, operator comfort, efficiencies and reliability. Obviously these guys have got a couple of big loaders here, L220 being one of them, and their old EC250D. Which this machine will be replacing.
Hopefully once we get it here and it does a bit of work and proves itself, I'm hoping that it's a continuation of a great operator environment. Our operators certainly enjoy the user experience of the Volvo kit. These guys spend a lot of time every day in these pieces of plant. They've got to be comfortable, they've got to be smooth, they've got to be quiet. I think certainly from my perspective, one hallmark of the Volvo equipment that we've got is generally the fuel efficiency is achieved through really a low RPM operating environment where these machines are not screaming and not chewing fuel. I think sustainability is important in everything we do. Across our ag business and across the quarrying business, we're very conscious of how we look after the site, how we look after the planet. I think one of the things that Volvo construction equipment can do for us is the quality and the longevity that we get out of the equipment. We like a long-term ownership of these pieces of kit. They're a very large capital investment that we certainly don't take lightly, and I think getting long, extremely usable lifespans out of these equipment certainly help. Low fuel usage, long service intervals, and a long service life. Relationship with CJD over the journey has been fantastic. We found the equipment to be extremely robust and extremely reliable and certainly very efficient. Parts and service backup has always been very, very strong, but I guess the good news is we historically haven't had to lean on it that hard because we've never really had any major breakdown issues. There's always minor bits and pieces along the way, and CJD have always looked after us with parts and service, which is great. I'm very conscious of just sort of total cost of ownership through the life scale of a piece of equipment, and I think that's probably why we keep coming back to the Volvo brand.
We've got a lot of mobile service techs running around the state. We're able to come out on site, perform servicing, any breakdown repairs if needed.
Our Volvo relationship with CJD is extremely strong. As these guys keep producing great quality earth-moving equipment that we can utilise in our quarry business that proves sustainable and value over time. We'll keep coming back.